Meet Chad. After recently getting dumped by his uncle, he decided to set out on his own journey. Acquiring only 100 push-ups and a 10-kilometer run, he locked his account to only untradable gear, all in the hopes of discovering something new. Welcome to Life of Chad. How's it going, cuties? Last video we left off on obtaining the Barrows mace, a crush weapon with stats similar to the Rune scimitar. Today we are aiming for something even better, even greater, but maybe not. You see, I originally had plans to obtain a weapon which would be superior to the Barrows mace, one that would be outclassed for a very long time, but it turned out that this goal was going to take a lot longer than I originally expected it to. And although I did achieve this goal after spending roughly a month, I feel it would have been better to split this into specific parts. Therefore today we are not going to be going for that goal, and instead I am aiming to just improve my DPS for today's episode by attaining a few specific untradable items that should improve my DPS and go overall just getting my main stats up. So Chad decided to start running. And boy, I never saw a man run as long as he did. He ran onto a boat and took it all the way to Zaya. And he did not stop running. Eventually walking upon the shoreline, he still kept running. Eventually he came across some crabs that were made out of sand, and he decided it was probably best to stay here for a while. So Chad took up camp and decided to slay some sand crabs all the way up until he got 50 attack. Now of course, Chad being the Chad he is, 50 attack wasn't good enough, so he got 55 attack, and then shortly after he got 60 attack. Now before 60 attack, he was buff already, so he had 60 strength beforehand just because you got a bit swole, and I did miss 65 attack and strength, but don't worry, I have something that'll make it up to you all. You see, on Chad's journey of obtaining to get stronger, he was challenged by a man called Dr. Big Tits to a fight of masculinity. Now, although Dr. Big Tits had the better stats overall, we had the factor of the intimidation technique, as before the fight we ended up pouring some shoulder pads and we put on some high heels, so it made us look stronger, as well as wearing our shazing helm and wielding our purple lollipop. I thought nobody could win. On top of this, as a little bit of craziness, we ended up making some Jade Bolts E, which is just +2 range strength bonus more than our blue red bolts, so of course I'm gonna win. Now obviously he was like, no way, and he decided to try to snare me, but don't worry, our blue red crossbow has a special feature called long range. And personally, I think this worked amazing, as whenever he was fighting, he would accidentally miss-snare me and try to attack me from melee combat distance, allowing me to attack him with my purple lollipop. Now at this point I'm kind of getting scared because he just snared me, and I only have my blue red bolts because I already used up all my Jade Bolts E, and I didn't think I'd use up that much because I thought with my intimidation technique I'd wipe him out almost immediately. But sadly now he's hitting me consistently at high numbers, and I can't really safe because I'm pretty low on food. So we're just hoping that we can actually get close enough with our purple lollipop, as that's our highest DPS at the moment. I think I pretty much have him on the ropes at this point, but I know I'm also really low on the food, so at the last second he snares me, I pull out my blue red crossbow and fire one more shot, and then we both end up hitting the perfect lethal amounts, ending up in a tie of masculinity. Following suit, I knew it was about time that we needed to get on track with something else, so we decided to finally just go ahead and start grinding some clue scrolls. Alright, so we're about ready finishing up our first easy clue, Padoodle, and ooh, we already got our first thing. We got a black plate body, some Nordic teleports, and a clue scroll master. Let's go ahead and see if we can do it, and sadly it doesn't look like we can right now. We need access to the God Wars dungeon, and that's a little bit iffy currently on the account, because rock climbing boots are tradable, so unless I add an exception later on, it's a possibility, but for right now, I'm not going to be doing that. Let's go and date this clip a little bit, but the OS Update HD update just released as of right now, so we will be using the HD client for like the rest of the video. If you guys prefer like the non-HD version, I don't have to record it, and I don't mind playing without it. Just let me know in the comments below. I personally prefer it. Now, I'm going to finish up this clue scroll, but of course, I'm dumb and I go up the wrong ladder. But we're going to go up to the other ladder, and we're going to complete this clue scroll after the lag's going to pass in just a second. And then we're going to see what we're going to be getting. I'm hoping for obviously the black plate legs, but any unique's pretty cool. So, and 3, 2, 1, Badoodle. And ooh, so we got the black shield H1, some charged jewelry stones, and an amulet magic. Nothing usable on the account. Alright, now we decided to go on ahead and go for a brief walk. We had to make an iron plate body, which was a little bit difficult because we had to get our thing. We're going to pass Shakespeare up real quick. So I didn't talk about the hammer when we obtained it, but it's just an untradable hammer that's wieldable. I believe the golden hammer, or it was untradable and it's usable as a hammer too, so I'm not really sure what's the big difference in it, but I thought I'd go ahead and do it. Now we're about ready to get the casket anyways. Badoodle, or wait, not Badoodle yet. Now we're going to equip our Untradables back. Badoodle. And there we go. We got our bronze plate buddy Chi, some Piscatorius teleports, which are pretty neat. They might be helpful when we need to do the Swan Songs quest, but apart from that, it's pretty cool. Already finished this clue up, but first I thought I'd physically assault him, so we end up hitting him over the head with our mace, and then we talk to him. He gives us our casket before punching us back, and then we go ahead and teleport out. And then once we teleport out, we're badoodling the casket, and ooh yes, we got our black plate legs, which will finally allow us to enter the Warriors Guild. Now, the black plate legs didn't allow me to enter it, but allowed me to get the tokens. So in the very beginning, we ended up getting 410 tokens, and we decided to go in and kill it. Now, the good thing about the Warriors Guild, it allows us free access to a lot of the food items, the butter, potatoes, and cheese, and then like you get stews and stuff, and they're really cheap food source, so we don't have to go ahead and fish lobsters like we were doing previously. And on top of that, we end up getting like free potions, or relatively cheap potions of the strength attack and defense potions, which means we don't have to make them because we don't have a lot of herbs right now. So of course, without needing a lot of herbs, we're gonna buy all of them that we can. Now we're just gonna chill up here for a bit and just be a total chat. Alright, so about 30 minutes later, we obtained our first defender, the bronze defender. Now it's pretty good because hopefully all the other ones are gonna be like that, and we can obtain this really quick and just get this over with so we can do some cool showcases. Now I'm only gonna showcase the important ones, which are gonna be the Rune and the Dragon ones, as all the other ones I'm not going to be using as much, except to obtain the other defenders. Alright, we just got the Iron Defender drop. Now, being an idiot sandwich, I forgot to record the Steel Defender, but we did get the Steel Defender and the Black Defender. Alright, so we just got the Adamant Defender, just one more away from the Rune Defender. Now, we also just got a loop half of key, and when we kill the sand crabs, we get a tooth tap. Now, if we combine them both, we get a crystal key, which means we can get a dragon stone, which then means we can make a ring of wealth imbued, which is one of the first untradable rings that we have access to. And there we go, we just got our Rune Defender, so item showcase time. The Rune Defender, requiring 40 attack and defense to wield. It is the third strongest defender in old school RuneScape, having slash and crush defensive stats equivalent to that of a black kite shield and a stab defense slightly less than an adamant square shield. It is used by many players. However, it is not for its defensive bonuses, but instead for its offensive bonuses, as it is having a plus 20, 19, and 18 attack bonus in stab, slash, and crush respectively, and having a plus 5 strength bonus. Overall, it is considered the third best offhand item for melee training, and therefore it is our best in slot offhand currently on the account. Now Chad is reminded of his long lost uncle upon receiving a curved bone drop whilst trying to obtain his Dragon Defender. Uncle, come back, please. Nonetheless, Chad pushed that aside and went up to ye old sand crabs and ended up grinding out 60 defense so it could equip the Dragon Defender. The Dragon Defender, requiring 60 attack and defense to obtain. It is the second best defender in old school RuneScape. The Dragon Defender has defense bonuses comparable to that of an adamant square shield, and like the Rune Defender, these stats do not mean much, as it is used primarily for its attack bonuses and strength bonuses, having an attack bonus of 25, 24, and 23 in stab / crush respectively, and having a +6 strength bonus. The strength bonus of which is only surpassed by two other offhand items, the Ornament Defender and Dragon Fire Shield. The Dragon Fire Shield isn't really as useful as the Dragon Defender, as the Dragon Fire Shield does not have the attack bonuses, as it only has the strength bonus, and the Ornament Defender is pretty difficult to obtain. Therefore, currently the Dragon Defender is our best offhand slot for melee training and will be for quite some time. Dragon Defender, we went back to your boy the Sand Crabs. Now, with the Dragon Defender and the Bear Knight Mace at Sand Crabs, we were able to get, I believe, 6k more XP per hour than without the Defender. So for those of you wondering if it's worthwhile getting it, it definitely is if you're going to be training melee stats, as that's 6k per hour that you're missing out. It's just a no-brainer if you want to do that. So we end up getting 70 attack and 70 strength, which will allow us to actually go for our main goal, which we will continue on the next episode. Sadly, the video is over, but I will give you a hint on why we obtain these stat goals. So obviously I spent a month before I uploaded this video, so I did create this thumbnail as I originally was going to post it all together, but instead this will be your hint as to what is to come in the next future episodes.